The Philippines, a nation accustomed to political drama, finds itself at a crossroads. On February 5, 2025, history was made. Sara Duterte, daughter of the controversial former President Rodrigo Duterte, became the first vice president in the country's history to be impeached by the House of Representatives. This unprecedented event has sent shockwaves through the archipelago, dividing public opinion and casting a long shadow over the nation's political future. Sara Duterte, known for her fiery rhetoric and iron-fisted approach, rose to power alongside President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. Their 2022 election victory seemed to herald a new era of unity, a burying of the hatchet between two of the Philippines' most prominent political dynasties. However, that unity proved to be short-lived. Whispers of discontent and power struggles within the administration soon grew into a roar that could no longer be ignored. The impeachment proceedings, initiated by a coalition of opposition lawmakers, have brought to light deep-seated divisions within the Philippine government. Accusations of corruption, abuse of power, and even threats against the president himself have painted a picture of an administration teetering on the brink. As the nation awaits the Senate trial, the stakes couldn't be higher. The outcome will not only determine Sara Duterte's political fate, but could also reshape the country's political landscape for years to come, with potential ramifications reaching far beyond the 2028 presidential election. The seeds of discontent were sown early in Duterte's vice presidency. Her tenure was marked by controversy, from her handling of the COVID-19 pandemic to her hawkish stance on China's activities in the South China Sea. These controversies, however, paled in comparison to the allegations that would ultimately lead to her impeachment. The first cracks appeared when reports surfaced of Duterte's alleged misuse of confidential and intelligence funds amounting to a staggering 612.5 million pesos or $10.3 million. These accusations, vehemently denied by Duterte and her allies, sparked public outrage and calls for transparency. The situation escalated further when a leaked audio recording allegedly captured Duterte threatening President Marcos Jr., his wife, and House Speaker Martin Romualdez. On January 10, 2025, a formal impeachment complaint was filed against Duterte, citing betrayal of public trust, corruption and high crimes. The complaint, signed by 215 lawmakers, easily surpassed the required threshold, setting the stage for a historic impeachment process. The House of Representatives, after weeks of heated debates and testimonies, voted overwhelmingly in favor of impeachment on February 5th. The swiftness and decisiveness of the House vote took many by surprise. It signaled a potential shift in the political landscape, with even some members of the ruling coalition seemingly turning against the vice president. The focus now shifts to the Senate, where a two-thirds majority is required to remove Duterte from office. At the heart of the impeachment case against Sara Duterte lie three main accusations: betrayal of public trust, misuse of funds, and uttering death threats against the president and his family. These charges, if proven, could have devastating consequences for Duterte's political career and legacy. The betrayal of public trust charge stems from the broader allegations of corruption and Duterte's alleged attempts to silence critics. Her detractors argue that her actions have eroded public confidence in the government and undermined the very principles of democracy. The misuse of funds accusation, focusing on the controversial intelligence funds, has drawn particular scrutiny. While Duterte maintains that the funds were used for legitimate national security purposes, her critics claim a lack of transparency and accountability, fueling suspicion of wrongdoing. Perhaps the most damning accusation is the alleged death threat against President Marcos Jr. and his family. The leaked audio recording, though its authenticity is still being debated, sent shockwaves through the nation. If proven genuine, it would paint a picture of a deeply fractured administration and raise serious concerns about Duterte's temperament and fitness for office. Duterte and her legal team have vehemently denied all charges, dismissing them as politically motivated attacks orchestrated by her opponents. They argue that the impeachment is an attempt to tarnish her reputation and derail her political ambitions. The impeachment of Sara Duterte has thrown Philippine politics into a state of uncertainty. With the 2028 presidential election looming large, the outcome of the Senate trial will have profound implications, not only for Duterte's future, but also for the balance of power in the country. The central figure in this political drama is undoubtedly President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. His stance on the impeachment is crucial. Openly supporting Duterte's removal would guarantee the necessary Senate votes, but could alienate her still significant support base. On the other hand, remaining neutral risks being seen as weak and indecisive. Duterte, despite the charges against her, remains a popular figure among certain segments of the population. Her strongman image and populist rhetoric resonate with voters disillusioned by traditional politics. The impeachment, if she survives it, could even be used to garner sympathy and portray her as a victim of political machinations. The upcoming midterm elections in May add another layer of complexity. The campaigning season is likely to further polarize the country, making it difficult to conduct a fair and impartial Senate trial. The outcome of the midterm elections could also influence the political calculations of senators, potentially swaying their votes in the impeachment trial. As the nation holds its breath, the future hangs in the balance. Will Sara Duterte weather the storm and emerge stronger, or will this be the end of her political aspirations? Only time will tell.